The atmosphere of the dryer can be checked while the stretcher is being prepared to do the rescue. The first thing you do is remove the stiff neck cervical collar from the backpack and put it into the dryer. Prepare the stretcher by removing the spine splint and pass it into the dryer. Remove the stretcher from the backpack, unroll it, and reverse roll it. This is done by standing on the foot end. Roll the stretcher to full length and fold the head end back and reverse roll it over your arm. The same thing is done on the foot side. This will prevent the stretcher from curling up on you when you are working with it inside the dryer. You then roll the stretcher lengthwise so you can pass it to the persons assisting you in the rescue inside the dryer. Note, this dryer hole is 11 by 15 inches. One person will completely support the neck and head at all times when applying the cervical collar and spine splint. Once again, we log roll the patient using the same method as before. On the count of 3, everybody moves together. The stretcher is moved as close to the patient as possible. Then the patient is rolled back gently on the count of 3. Considering the lack of space in the dryer, you must work from one side of the dryer. Very carefully lift the stretcher so the patient slides to the center of the stretcher without jarring the spine. Once the patient is in the center, you may begin fastening straps. Make sure to watch the patient as you fasten the straps in case your patient becomes violent and kicks. The stretcher will act as a shield when you work from the sides. Pull the straps as snugly as possible without restricting breathing. Notice the arms are extended above the head. This will allow easy passage through the dryer opening. The straps at the foot end are attached at this time. This will bring the foot end of the stretcher up into a toboggan shape. Depending upon the size of the entry, the feet can be put in several different positions. Because the dryer entrance is so small, the feet must be crossed. The stretcher is then lifted and passed through the hole in the dryer. If the hole in the dryer is angled, the stretcher should be parallel to the walls of the hole, not parallel to the ground. Otherwise, the patient's nose could impact the dryer and cause an injury. There is very little space, so make sure the stretcher aligns with the walls of the hole. The patient is brought through the dryer opening. The patient is then prepared for transport to a medical facility. The SKED stretcher rolls up and fits into a backpack which is 8 inches in diameter and 3 feet long and is secured with a strap fastened around its middle. It should always be stored in the pack with a strap around its middle to prevent it from unrolling and making it difficult to remove it from the bag. You now see the toe strap. The clips on the tow strap can break at about 300 pounds, so we do not lift anyone off the ground with this strap. It is strictly for towing. The size of the backpack is 8 inches in diameter and 3 feet long. One pouch is large enough to hold all accessories. The other pouch can remain empty or be used to hold a first aid kit or other necessary equipment. Two D-rings on the back can be used to send the pack down a line across a canyon or between two buildings. The backpack cannot twist up on the line due to the positions of these D-rings. The D-rings also create tie-in points if you are attaching to an existing backpack. The bottom D-ring can attach to the tow strap to drag the stretcher with the victim in it. This allows your hands to remain free. 4 extra handles come with the stretcher and can be placed in any of the unused grommets, allowing the stretcher to be lifted by more than 4 persons. The stretcher already has 4 handles sewn on. The stretcher contains 2 lift slings or straps. One is 7 feet long, one is 6 feet 6 inches long. The shorter sling is labeled plainly head strap, which when in place allows the stretcher to be hoisted in a horizontal position, but slightly head up, which is a very desirable position to lift the patient. The vertical lift sling is a 30-foot section of 3/8-inch static kern mantle rope, which is inserted in all the grommets to create the sling. We tie a figure 8 knot in the rope at the factory, which need never be removed. There is a large steel D-shaped locking carabiner provided. It is a large carabiner with a large gate opening and is designed to clip into all the lift sling loops or the rope. The nut screws downward, so vibration will not shake the nut loose, allowing the carabiner to open. Braking strength of the carabiner is 9,000 pounds. Stretcher. Take out the stiff neck collar. Remove the spine splint, then step on the bottom of the backpack and pull the stretcher out of the bag. Disconnect the retainer strap on. The stretcher has a memory. It will want to roll up. Reverse roll it by standing on the foot of the stretcher and roll it back with one arm. Do the foot end the same way. The stretcher will then lay flat. Log roll the patient once again and pull the splint as close as possible to the patient. On the count of 3, lower the patient as gently as possible. Move to the other side of the patient and move them gently to the center of the stretcher. Then apply the shoulder board, which will prevent the spine splint from compressing the spine. The top of the board should line up with the top of the patient's shoulders. Start at the bottom of the stretcher when fastening the straps and watch for kicking from a violent patient. Tighten the straps as snug as possible to create a tubular shape, which gives the stretcher its rigidity. Tuck all the strap ends into the stretcher so you do not trip on them during transport. Bring the bottom straps up through the unused grommets, creating a toboggan shape. Depending on the area the patient is to pass, the feet can be placed in several different positions displayed here. Splayed is shown here. Between the foot straps. Crossed for confined space. To prepare for a lift, take the towing handle, tie an overhead knot to the strap in the waist area, and tuck the handle in so it does not hang up on anything. To do a vertical lift, take the 30-foot static rope and pass it through the grommet at the head end and through the grommet at the shoulder. Leave a foot or so of rope at the head end. Pass the rope through the handle and through the grommet at the waist. Pass it through the handle at the lower end and through the grommet at the lower end from the inside out. Do the same thing on the other side, leaving the same amount of rope at the head. Tie the rope at the bottom into a square knot. The two free ends are brought through the handles from the outside in, and we tie another square knot. Secure the ends of the rope with 2 half hitches on each end. Another option is a barrel knot or a double fisherman's knot. Then you clip the carabiner into the loop at the head of the stretcher after standing the stretcher up ready for the hoist. When removing the rope, be careful not to pull too quickly and allowing the ropes to whip around, striking the patient, creating possible minor injuries. The extra handles can be placed in any of the unused grommets to allow more carriers. The 6-foot, 6-inch long head strap has a 10,000-pound tensile strength, is inserted in the angled slots at the side of the stretcher. The shorter head strap allows a head-up attitude while hoisting, two-end equalized. Do the same thing with the longer sling at the lower end.
The carabiner is then threaded through the eyes of the hoist straps at the foot and head end. This gives us a one-point hookup. Lock the carabiner and make sure the nut screws downward.
These instructions are general. Use of this equipment should be done in accordance with local medical protocol.
use, the person is, if your victim is short, after you get him into it, if he's about, you know, if the water's to here on him or here, you can pull up on these straps that pulls the bottom end up and it lifts him up into the skid where he's floating higher in the water. Okay, this, the chest pad will float these straps here so that the patient's feet will go underneath them without ever tangling up. And if we use the horizontal lifting slings, we've got it float with the carabiner and the slings too, so they don't fall inside the stretcher and get tangled up in the leg. So I think I'll go ahead and take this off and we're done here.
Stop. 1, 2, 3. Okay, down on. Yeah. I've got the primary handle. I've got the end of it. It goes to the other side.
You okay? Okay, we didn't get you up quite high enough. We're going to rotate you around.
It didn't sound so okay.
Hey, I'm floating!
Cat!
Okay, wait a minute. Go too shallow.
Alright, and then flip your towards Steve. And just flip the arms. Ready?
Ready?
Yeah. 1, 2. Okay, we thought you wanted, I thought you wanted to be completely upside down. Now, okay, now flip me over face down and look clear at it.
Okay, look toward you.
Clear up. Is that what you wanted? Look at end over end. Okay.
End over end.
Face first.
So you want the foot to go completely
Clear up out of the water, over, back.
Alright, ready? Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
You only did it. Went end over end.
We're clear of the bottom.
Okay, that's what the problem is. You can't, it's hard to do. I guess that kind of indicates itself. You want to try and get clean?
Okay, the thing to do to rotate it might take you in this attitude and sweep the bottom and bring it
The
around.
only thing when we flip over backwards, my friend.
Okay, then we'll hold
Put
off.
the face down and then lift it to the bottom.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready? Okay. Got your face down. Ready? 1. Lift, Greg. 1, 2, 3. No way. It won't do it. That's unreal. Yeah, I've got the film.
That is amazing.
It doesn't change my attitude. I've always had it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get out now. You want to try a one-man load, Greg?
Sure. See, I like this.
Well, usually we have back. Breathe out.
Push the head out.
Reach around and grab under his thighs. There we go. You need to a certain point. I'll, or even on my own with that bottom when you're working with this.
how do you see it?
I did it to be a little cooler, but what the heck. Okay, this is how we repack the system. First of all, put the cross straps inside and we'll pull them tight as we go so they don't come out wrinkled the next time. When you get to the first strap, put your knee on it, take this and place it into the crease here, and it stays nice and straight. I've got that one strap under it already, so it makes it easy. Just hold your knee on it, grab the strap. Mint roll, it smells good. Okay, now to make room for the spine splint, what I do is I'll put one end in first, pull this up to this buckle, release that to where the bag is just kind of loose on it. That gives us just enough room to put it inside the bag. And then the Oregon spine splint fits right inside. Leave these straps hanging out. Okay. Then pull this handle out all the way, tuck these down inside. Okay. Buckles out. Tuck that handle in afterwards, and then just pull the buckles in and zip that. Now we want to put all the accessories in one pouch, in the basic sked that is. So we have everything rolled up neatly before we start. Chain the rope. Make sure we have 4 extra handles. Put those in one end of the bag. Toe strap, we'll roll that up. Put that in the other end of the pouch. Whoop. I don't have the carabiner here. That would go in there. And then this goes in on top of it, but it looks like you'll never get that pouch closed, but all you have to do is just beat on it a little bit and it goes right in. The flotation ballast and the extra long accessory handles go in the lower pouch. That way all the way to the bottom when you're carrying it. Now, the chest pad, in the center here, there's a place where you can get the straps through. that across the front. Okay, there should be another strap here that we'll put around the bottom end, but that's it. It's ready for storage. See a lot better, everything will be higher, and we can cover more of the key points. First of all, as you reach your patient, you will reach down under the patient's thighs and then reach up and grab the stretcher at the center where the grommets are. Be sure and keep your hand at the center of the stretcher so that it doesn't turn sideways on you, and it makes it a lot easier to do the job. Push the stretcher down to where it's underwater, and notice that the foot end comes up and makes the stretcher level. Guide your patient's feet into the stretcher, and notice that the float keeps the straps up out of the way. And as you guide him in, place your hand under the small of the back, then move your hand behind the shoulder, and continue pushing down. Okay. And slide the patient right in. Now, once he gets to this point, his shoulders may hang up on the floats, so you can stand on the foot end of the stretcher, bring the arms into the stretcher, and then continue the loading process just by pushing your patient down to the bottom of the stretcher to where you can tell his feet have touched the bottom. At that time, we'll reach across, pull on the upper chest strap, and that will secure the patient into the stretcher where he cannot come out. Then we'll take the second strap down, do the same thing, and he is now secured into the stretcher to where he can be towed or hauled on board a boat or whatever. Your patient, you can have the strap over your shoulder, and that allows you to drag the stretcher with your hands free. Get to the patient, rotate him over, get your arm under his thighs, reach up and get the stretcher in the center, and guide him into the stretcher. And at that time, fasten the straps. You can stand on the stretcher for stability. Okay, you're not completely straight. I can turn it. Okay. And pull the chest pad towards you to prevent the loop on the chest pad from getting tied up into the buckle. Reach down, get the second strap the same way. He's into it now. You can tow the stretcher, and as you swim away, the stretcher will level out and tow very easily.